Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and I'm going to make a puff pastry pepperoni pizza. And I also have 10 other recipe ideas for puff pastry. Besides this pepperoni pizza, you could also have made the green pesto puff pastry pizza. That's a little more healthy. There's also the classic beef Wellington. Or what about ham and cheese croissants? Those would be good for dinner or lunch. Or pork tenderloin cordon bleu. Why not? It's easy when you have a pre-made puff pastry. I also love a shepherd's pie. Doesn't that look delicious? But let's not stop at dinner. Let's go to desserts. The classic is a Napoleon with puff pastry. A simple baked apple. That recipe is made fast. What about an almond chocolate pastry? Or the basic breakfast puff pastries like a puff pastry envelope. There's all kinds of fillings you can use for that. Or a simple crunchy cinnamon roll. Wewalka sponsored this video, and I'm so glad they did. They're inspiring with all their recipes. The possibilities are endless, and Wewalka has recipes for everything I just mentioned. It's coronavirus time, so I wanted to show you a simple recipe with things I have in my house. I'm making a pepperoni puff pastry pizza. You don't need pizza dough to make pizza. It's simple to make. This is a pepperoni one, but then on the other side, I had my deluxe ingredients. You know, for the connoisseurs in the family. The kids may not like all that extra stuff on it. The ingredients for this dish are the puff pastry by Wewalka. It's right in the grocery. It's so easy to find. Go to your refrigerated dough section. They always had it. They have been with us this whole coronavirus. So if you haven't been able to get bread or flour or other things, you can still get your Wewalka puff pastry crust. I love this company for that. They've really stuck in there on our supply chain. You'll also need tomato sauce. I went to my pantry. I had all these varieties of things I could have chosen. Anything with a tomato in it is fine. In your pantry, there might be a number of different things you could have picked. So today I just picked a simple tomato sauce, but if you had a canned spaghetti sauce, that will do too. Mozzarella cheese, I buy it in bulk. And so for the coronavirus, I did all my prep shopping. I would just place it in my freezer in little baggies because it's great for months to use it that way. I also did the same with a very large bag of pepperoni. I got a bunch of bags of that too, because I always love anything made with pepperoni. And some olive oil. The optional ingredients are Italian seasoning if you want, but you really don't need it because that pepperoni is pretty spicy to begin with. I love sliced tomatoes on my pizza and also chopped peppers. So I have a green pepper and a red pepper and a little confetti of red onion on that top. It gives a great sweetness to it that I love. What you got in your fridge, you can put on your puff pastry pizza today. The recipe is on the end of the video, so you can pause it and take a screenshot. Step 1, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Grab a baking sheet. The Wewalka Puff Pastry comes perfect, so right out of your refrigerator you can use it. You don't need to thaw it or keep it on the counter for room temperature. It's fine cold from that fridge. They wrap it in parchment paper, which makes it so easy to take apart and unroll. So just pull it apart and with the parchment paper on the bottom, unroll your puff pastry crust. All the way to the end. And with the extra paper, just pull it aside. There's your dough. Now I want a little crust, so I'm just rolling the ends towards the center of my pizza because I like the little lip on it to hold all the goodies to the inside. Bing! And keep going. I love cooking during the coronavirus. It's one of the fun things I found to do with myself. Are you just learning to cook in the coronavirus, or have you been cooking for a long time? What should I make? Give me some recipe ideas. What do you have in your pantry you gotta get through? That's the most fun, seeing if you can last without going to the grocery store. By the way, you can buy the Wewalka crusts and keep them in your refrigerator. I love in my refrigerator, I have a whole bunch of these things. They are so easy, and with bread in short supply, it is so great to have a crust available. A puff pastry, pie crust, all the Wewalka supplies are there for us, whereas the bread is not even the flour. So this has been a savior for me during this time. I'd like to seal the edge with a little crimp on the inside. Isn't that pretty? It's so fun. I get to do a little art project by making my puff pastry crust today. Go all the way around. I feel like I'm playing a game of Monopoly and getting to the other side. Okay, I pass go. And now I'm gonna make a little track down the center because I don't want it to get all fat, because it will. Puff pastry puffs. There we go. And into the oven she goes. Set your timer for 7 minutes. Because you got to check her after 7 minutes. She might get a little too puffy. In the meantime, it's time for a coronavirus wash, as in washing our vegetables really good. I don't know if you wash yours right after going to the store or getting them delivered, but I tend to really like to wash them when I cook. But whenever you do it, you got to wash them. And Mr. Tomato Head too. Okay. And for this recipe, I'm going to dice everything really small because it's going to have a very short bake time. Just want to get a little par bake on it. So don't cut them in big pieces because there's just not going to be time in that oven for them to cook thoroughly. You want them in small, little confetti pieces. Like that. You only need a 1/4 cup of each of these vegetables, so the rest of this pepper and this one will be saved for later. And that's about one side, one slice. So line them up Dano and give them that chop. They're ready to join the party. And the tomatoes are so juicy, but I like them to kind of dry out in the oven, so I slice them very thin because I don't want all that water getting all over that crust and making that crust get all soggy. So I just do little thin slices of the tomato like that. I'm using just this handy dandy serrated knife. The timer went off. Oh, see what I'm saying? She got all puffed up. So take a fork and go through and get her to relax a little bit. There we go. And then back in she's going to go for another 7 minutes to finish par baking. Close her up. So set your timer to 7 minutes for the second bake. And we need just a little bit of onion today. Same drill, just little tiny pieces is all we need. Chop, chop. That onion is so strong. Done. It's been a total of 14 minutes. And we're seeing a golden brown. That's what you want. So keep your oven on because we're going to want that heat for the final bake. And drizzle, 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 drool. Isn't it fun to be in cooking school during the virus? Here we go. This is olive oil. And I want this because I want this to keep crunchy as my pizza, so I want a little olive oil. Believe it or not, the olive oil really helps to keep the crunch in your puff pastry. And I like a little bit on the sides too. Around and around we go. Next, I'm going to spoon on the tomato sauce. And this is about a total of 1/4 cup. We'll put that all over it. I love tomato sauce, but I want to keep the delicacy of the puff pastry, so don't overdo it. Every bite's got to have a little bit in my book though. No skimping. Down to every corner. Oh yeah, that looks so good. Last dunk. And now I'm adding just a big pinch of the Italian seasoning. Now you can use oregano on this, and if you don't have the Italian seasoning blend, or nothing. You don't really need this. We have so much flavor with the mozzarella cheese and the pepperoni, but just for fun, I thought I'd add this. Now comes your cheese. I like a lot of cheese. This is going to be 1 cup of cheese on this pizza because I like a very healthy pizza with healthy ingredients, as in healthy bites of a lot of food. And now let's add our pepperoni. I put them right on top of each other because, again, I like a lot of goodies on top of my pizza. No skimping in my household. I like every bite to beat a meat eater bite on this pizza. I think people appreciate that because they're going to shrink up anyways. And when you can't see the light of day, you're probably done. And the confetti's going to go on just 1/2, just in case you got those picky eaters that want pure bites of the pepperoni and not the goodies. This side's going to be my side. I put the peppers down first, and then I put the tomatoes because I want these tomatoes to dry out in the oven and get that moisture off, so they have to be on the top layer. And then same with the onions. The onions are very light, and I want them cooked and a little softened, so they go on the top too. If we hadn't pre-baked the puff pastry crust, then we would have had a soggy pizza. So that's why we did that step first. Now we got to put her back in the oven. It's still at 400 degrees. We're going to set our timer for 5 minutes. Because all we really need now is for that cheese to melt and that pepperoni to cook a little bit. You know, and those vegetables too. All right. And after those 5 minutes, I like to put it on broil for just 2 more minutes because that seems to get the top perfectly done. like that. So voila, doesn't that look great? It is bubbling, it is perfect. Look at those pepperonis. Oh, don't you just want to eat that right now? But don't, it'll burn your mouth. And look at those vegetables, just the way, I like them. And you gotta make sure you turn your oven off. You don't want to burn down the house. For safety purposes, what a super easy dinner this is. Transfer. And I love that parchment paper because it makes it really easy to work with. Let's check under the hood. Oh yeah, brown and crispy. That looks good. You can hear the scrape. Oh yeah, time to cut the pie. I'm gonna cut it right down the middle. Oh, listen to that, that's heaven. We like the crunch. Guess which half is mine? And a nice little piece for me. Okay, I won't be such a piggy. And right above my name, so everybody knows that is mine. I'm definitely gonna want 2 pieces today. Oh yeah, look at that. A little extra cheese with my pizza. Time for the bite. Could be hot. Oh, you have no idea. It's unbelievable. That pastry crust, even with all this goop on it, is so deliciously crispy. Puff pastry pizza retains that crunch all the way through those 64 layers. Okay. Click link below. You can get all of Wewalka's great recipes. They have all kinds of dough products. I gotta tell you, this is so amazing. All those recipe ideas are down in that link for all those other things you saw flash before your eyes at the beginning of this video. And let me tell you, they've got pages and pages and pages of recipe ideas. So whatever it is you like or your family likes, something to inspire you for really fun times in the kitchen during this time period in our life, this moment, this coronavirus moment. Let's still have a great fun time in the kitchen like today, making pepperoni puff pastry pizza. Thanks, Wewalka, for sponsoring this video. It's time for a little union break here. I gotta go in my corner and eat it. Thanks for watching. I'm Rebecca Brand. Subscribe to my channel and ring the bell on top so you get notified of my next video. Let's keep making great recipes in life, like pizza on puff pastry. That's amazing. If you like this video, here are some more, including a Wewalka pie recipe from their pie crust. Yum.